Before we dive in, please remember that I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for informational and educational purposes only. The cryptocurrency market is highly volatile, and you should always do your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. You've heard the stories, right? The guy who bought 2 pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoin back in 2010, Bitcoin that would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars today. Or maybe it's your coworker's nephew who supposedly turned $1,000 into a small fortune on some random meme coin you'd never even heard of. The stories are everywhere, and they create this nagging feeling in the back of your mind. The feeling that you're standing on the sidelines while a massive financial shift is happening right in front of you. It's the fear of missing out, and it's powerful. So you decide, okay, I'm in. I'm ready to buy my first $20 of Bitcoin, just to see what happens. You pull out your phone, you go to the App Store, and you type in crypto, and bam, you're hit with a digital tidal wave of options. Coinbase, Kraken, Binance.us, Gemini, Crypto.com, Robinhood. The logos all look sleek and futuristic, but the names sound like a mix of mythological creatures and villains from a sci-fi movie. Which one is for you? Which one is safe? Which one isn't going to secretly drain your bank account with hidden fees? The questions pile up. Is this one for day traders? Is that one better for long-term holding? What's the difference between a wallet and an exchange? Suddenly, that initial spark of excitement turns into a full-blown case of analysis paralysis. You close the App Store, put your phone down, and you tell yourself, I'll figure it out later. For millions of Americans, later never comes. That initial wall of confusion is the single biggest reason people who want to get into crypto never do. This video is the cure for that paralysis. We are going to systematically demolish the barrier to entry that stops so many people cold. This isn't just another lazy top 5 crypto apps list where I flash some logos on the screen and call it a day. We are going to do something much more valuable. We're going to give you a mental toolkit, a framework for understanding what actually matters when you're just starting out. We're going to peel back the flashy marketing and look at the engine underneath each of these platforms. By the end of this presentation, you won't just know which app to choose. You'll understand why it's the right choice for your specific needs. You'll know how to spot a platform designed for beginners versus one built for Wall Street pros. You'll learn how to identify the sneaky fees that can eat away at your investment. And most importantly, you will gain the confidence to take that first step securely and intelligently. To do that, we're going to break down the 5 critical features that every beginner must understand. Think of these as the 5 pillars of a great crypto app. First and most importantly, we're tackling user experience and ease of use. Is the app's interface clean, simple, and intuitive? Or does it feel like you're trying to navigate the cockpit of a 747? Some apps are designed to make your first purchase as easy as ordering from Amazon. Others are packed with complex charts, order books, and jargon that will make your head spin. We'll show you what to look for so you can find the path of least resistance and get started without the frustration. Your first experience with crypto should be empowering, not intimidating. Second, we're following the money. We are going to demystify the single most confusing part of crypto, the fees. You'll hear terms like spread, maker-taker fees, withdrawal fees, and network fees. It's a minefield intentionally designed to be confusing. I'm going to translate all of it into plain English. I'll show you exactly how these fees are calculated and how to figure out the true cost of buying, selling, and holding your crypto on each platform. A 1.5% fee might not sound like much, but over time, and with larger amounts, it can be the difference between making a profit and taking a loss. We'll expose the hidden costs so you don't get taken for a ride. Third, we'll address the elephant in the room, the one thing that keeps people up at night: security and trust. How do you know your money and your crypto are actually safe? We are going to dive deep into crucial security features like 2-factor authentication, biometric logins, and whitelisting addresses. We'll talk about which platforms offer FDIC insurance on your US dollar deposits and what that actually means for you. We'll discuss the difference between keeping your assets in hot storage versus cold storage and why it's one of the most important security questions you can ask. We're looking for digital fortresses, not flimsy sheds. Fourth, we'll explore the crypto candy store, coin selection and variety. This is a bigger deal than you might think. Some exchanges, especially those focused on beginners, offer a curated list of the biggest, most established cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. This simplifies the process and can protect you from riskier assets. Other platforms offer access to hundreds, or even thousands of smaller, more speculative altcoins. This offers the potential for higher rewards, but also comes with significantly higher risk. We'll discuss the pros and cons of each approach to help you decide if you want a guided, simplified experience or full access to the Wild West of the crypto market. And finally, our fifth pillar, educational resources and customer support. What happens after you click buy? Does the app abandon you? Or does it help you grow your knowledge? We'll look at which platforms provide high-quality articles, tutorials, and market insights to help you understand what you're investing in. And what happens when something goes wrong? If you have a problem with a transaction, can you actually talk to a human being? Or are you stuck dealing with a useless chatbot? Reliable customer support and robust learning tools are the unsung heroes of a great crypto app, and we'll show you who takes them seriously. Ease of use, fees, security, coin selection, and support. By breaking down these 5 core pillars, we're going to give you a powerful and permanent mental framework. After this, you'll be able to look at any crypto app, even new ones that come out next year, and instantly evaluate it for yourself. This isn't about me telling you what to download. This is about empowering you with the knowledge to make your own best decision. So grab a notepad, put your phone on silent because we're about to cut through all the hype and all the confusion. We're going to build your foundation in the world of cryptocurrency starting right now. Let's start with the most fundamental question. A question that trips up 90% of beginners right out of the gate. What even is a crypto app? Is it a bank? Is it a stock brokerage? Is it a digital wallet? The answer is, it can be all of those things or just one of them. And understanding this difference is the absolute key to protecting your money and making smart choices. Think of it like this. In the world of crypto, there are 2 primary places your money can live: on an exchange or in a wallet. They are not the same thing. An exchange is a marketplace. It's like a giant digital currency exchange booth at the airport. You walk up with your US dollars and you want to swap them for Bitcoin or Ethereum or some other cryptocurrency. The exchange is the business that makes this happen. They connect buyers with sellers, take a small fee for their service, and facilitate the trade. This is where you go to buy your first crypto. It's the on-ramp from the traditional money world into the crypto world. It's also the off-ramp, the place you'll go to sell your crypto back into US dollars that you can then send to your bank account. So when you download an app like Coinbase, Kraken, or Gemini, you are primarily downloading a mobile gateway to a massive, powerful crypto exchange. But here's the critical part. When you buy Bitcoin on that exchange, where does it go? By default, the exchange holds it for you. They store it in a wallet that they control, but which is assigned to your account. This is called a custodial wallet. The word custody is key. It means they have guardianship. They are the custodian of your assets. Think of it like a bank safety deposit box. You own the gold bars inside the box, but the bank holds the keys to the vault. It's convenient, right? If you lose your debit card, you can just call the bank, verify your identity, and they'll send you a new one. Similarly, if you forget your crypto app password, you can go through a password reset process because the exchange, the custodian, can verify it's you and grant you access to your funds again. For a beginner, this sounds perfect. Feels safe. Feels familiar. But there's a saying in the crypto world that you need to burn into your memory. Not your keys, not your crypto. What does that mean? It means if you are using a custodial wallet on an exchange, you don't actually hold the private keys to your crypto. The private key is like the master password, the one and only secret code that proves ownership and allows you to spend your coins. The exchange holds that key for you. This means you are trusting them. You're trusting them not to get hacked. You're trusting them not to go bankrupt. You're trusting them not to freeze your account for reasons you might not even understand. We've all seen the headlines about major exchanges collapsing overnight, taking billions in customer funds with them. That is the risk of custody. The alternative is a non-custodial or self-custody wallet. This is the equivalent of taking your gold bars out of the bank and putting them in a personal high-tech safe in your own home. With a self-custody wallet, you and only you hold the private keys. You have absolute sovereign control over your money. No company can freeze it. No government can seize it without your keys. No exchange collapse can touch it. It is truly yours. But with that great power comes immense responsibility. If you lose the private keys to your self-custody wallet, often represented by a 12 or 24-word seed phrase, your money is gone. Forever. There is no password reset. There is no 1-800 number to call. It is the digital equivalent of burying a treasure chest in the desert and then burning the map. So, the very first feature to understand is that most major beginner apps, Coinbase, Kraken, and others, are exchanges that provide a custodial wallet as the default, easy-to-use option. But many of these same companies also offer separate, non-custodial wallet apps for users who want to take that step towards self-sovereignty. For now, as a beginner, you will almost certainly start with the default custodial wallet on an exchange. It's the most straightforward path. But you must understand the trade-off you are making. You are trading some degree of control for convenience. Now that we've cleared that up, let's talk about the first thing you'll actually see when you open one of these apps: the user interface, or UI. This isn't just about pretty colors and cool animations. The design of an app can be the difference between a confident first purchase and a costly, panic-inducing mistake. A top-tier app for beginners must have a dead simple, intuitive interface. When you open it, you shouldn't feel like you've just been dropped into the cockpit of a 747 with a million flashing lights and buttons. You should feel like you're in the driver's seat of a modern car, where the most important controls, the steering wheel, the gas, the brake, are exactly where you expect them to be. What does this look like in practice? It means a clean home screen or dashboard that shows your total portfolio value in big, clear numbers. It means giant, unmissable buttons that say buy and sell. It means when you go to buy Bitcoin, the screen clearly asks, how much in US dollars do you want to spend? And shows you exactly how much Bitcoin you'll get in return before you confirm the purchase. It means finding your transaction history is easy, and understanding it doesn't require a degree in accounting. A bad interface, on the other hand, will overwhelm you with complex trading charts, order books, and jargon like limit orders and stop losses right on the front page. These are powerful tools for professional traders, but for a beginner, they're just noise and a recipe for disaster. If an app makes you feel confused or anxious in the first 5 minutes, it's the wrong app for you. Your first priority is clarity and simplicity. Flowing directly from the app's usability is its security. Now, we already talked about the big picture security of custodial versus non-custodial, but let's talk about securing your specific account on the exchange. This is non-negotiable. The single most important security feature any app must offer is two-factor authentication, or 2FA. Think of it like this: your password is the first key to your house. But what if someone steals it? 2FA is a second separate key that you also need to get in the door. This second key is usually a 6-digit code that changes every 30 seconds and is generated by an app on your phone. So even if a hacker in another country manages to steal your password, they're stuck. They can't log into your account without that constantly changing code from the phone in your pocket. It is one of the most powerful defenses you have against theft. Now you'll see a couple of options for 2FA. Some apps will offer to send the code via SMS text message. This is better than nothing, but it's the weakest form of 2FA. Hackers have become very good at a technique called SIM swapping, where they trick your cell phone provider into moving your phone number to a new SIM card that they control. Once they do that, they get your text messages, including your 2FA codes. The gold standard is to use an authenticator app, like Google Authenticator or Authy. These apps are not tied to your phone number, only to your physical device. So even if a hacker steals your phone number, they still can't get your 2FA codes. If an app you're considering doesn't support Authenticator app 2FA, close it and find another one. It's that important. Another powerful and often overlooked security feature to look for is address whitelisting. This is a fantastic safety net. It allows you to create a pre-approved list of crypto addresses that you're allowed to send funds to. For example, you could whitelist your own self-custody wallet address, and that's it. Then, you can turn on a feature that puts a 24 or 48-hour hold on adding any new addresses to that list. Why is this so powerful? Imagine a hacker gets into your account. They want to steal your crypto by sending it to their own address. But they can't. They would first have to add their address to your whitelist, which would trigger an email to you and a 48-hour mandatory waiting period. That gives you more than enough time to see the alert, log in, and lock down your account before a single cent is stolen. So, before we even get to the exciting stuff like which coins to buy or how to make money, this is your foundation. This is your safety checklist. Does the app make it clear what kind of wallet you're using? Is the interface clean and simple? And does it offer robust security features like Authenticator app 2FA and address whitelisting? If you can't answer yes to all of those, then nothing else matters. You're building your financial future on a shaky foundation. But if you can find an app that nails these core principles of clarity and security, you've won half the battle. You've found a tool that you can trust. Now we can get to the part that really affects your bottom line. Now we can talk about the money. And let's be honest, the money is why most of us are here. We see the headlines, we hear the stories of incredible gains, and we want a piece of the action. But there's a saying that's as true in crypto as it is anywhere else: the house always wins. And in this world, the crypto app is the house. They aren't charities. They are businesses, and they have to make money to keep the lights on, to pay for that security we just talked about, and to turn a profit. And the primary way they do that is through fees. Now I know what you're thinking. Fees? Ugh. It's the least exciting part of investing. Feels like a tax on your excitement. But I promise you, understanding how fees work is the single most important thing you can do to protect your profits. Ignoring fees is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. You can pour all the effort in the world into making good investments, but if you don't plug the hole, you'll constantly be losing value. So let's demystify this. Let's pull back the curtain on the three main ways these apps take a slice of your pie. First and most common are the trading fees. This is the fee you pay every time you buy or sell a cryptocurrency. Simple enough, right? Well, it gets a little more complex. You'll often see this broken down into a maker fee and a taker fee. This sounds like confusing Wall Street jargon, but the concept is actually pretty simple. Think of it like a farmer's market. The maker is the farmer who brings their produce to the market, sets up a stall, and puts a price tag on their tomatoes. They are making the market. They are providing liquidity, which is just a fancy word for making stuff available to be bought and sold. The taker is the person who walks up to the stall and buys the tomatoes at the listed price. They are taking the tomatoes off the market. In the crypto world, when you place an order to buy Bitcoin, but only if it drops to a specific price, say $60,000, you are a market maker. Your order is now sitting there waiting, providing an opportunity for someone else. Because you're helping the exchange, you often get charged a lower fee, the maker fee. But if you open the app and you just smash the buy button at whatever the current price is, you are a market taker. You are taking the crypto that's already available right now. Because this is easier and requires less from you, you typically pay a slightly higher fee, the taker fee. For most beginners just starting out, you'll almost always be a taker. And that's perfectly fine. The key is to look at the app's fee schedule, usually a link at the bottom of their website, and see what that taker fee is. It's usually a percentage, something like 0.1% or 0.5%. The lower, the better. But here's where it gets sneaky. This brings us to the second and often hidden fee, the spread. Have you ever gone to an airport to exchange your dollars for another currency? You look at the board and you see two prices for euros, a buy price and a sell price. And you'll notice the price they'll buy your dollars for is different from the price they'll sell you euros for. That difference between the two prices is the spread, and it's pure profit for the exchange booth. Many of the most popular, beginner-friendly crypto apps work the exact same way. They might even advertise zero trading fees, which sounds amazing. But what they don't tell you is that they're charging you a massive spread. The price they let you buy Bitcoin at might be $61,000, while the price you could immediately sell it back to them for is only $60,500. That $500 difference is the spread. It's a hidden fee baked directly into the price of the coin. You won't see it on a receipt. It won't be listed as a line item. You just get less crypto for your dollar. This is incredibly common on apps that prioritize simplicity over everything else. They make buying as easy as one click, but you pay a premium for that convenience. So when you see an app advertising no fees, your first question should always be, okay, but what's your spread? Compare the price they're offering you to the real-time price on a neutral site like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. If there's a big difference, you've found the hidden fee. Finally, the third type of fee is for moving your money around: deposit and withdrawal fees. Depositing money into the app from your US bank account is often free, especially if you use an ACH transfer, which is the standard, slower method. Some apps might charge for instant deposits using a debit card or for wire transfers, so that's something to check. The real costs come when you want to take your money or your crypto out of the app. Withdrawing US dollars back to your bank account can sometimes have a flat fee, a few bucks to cover their processing costs. But the one that really gets people is the crypto withdrawal fee. Let's say you buy some Ethereum on an app, and now you want to send it to your own private wallet for safekeeping, or maybe to another platform to use it. To do this, the app has to process a transaction on the actual Ethereum blockchain. This isn't free. The blockchain itself requires a fee, often called a gas fee, to pay the network validators who secure the transaction. The crypto app will pass this cost on to you, and sometimes they'll add a little extra on top for themselves. These fees can vary wildly. Some apps charge a flat fee, like 0.005 ETH to withdraw, no matter how much you send. Others might charge a percentage, and some, unfortunately, don't allow you to withdraw your crypto at all. You can only sell it back to them for dollars. This is a massive red flag. It means you don't truly own your crypto, you just own an IOU from the company. A core principle of crypto is self-custody, and if an app doesn't let you withdraw your coins to your own wallet, it's violating that principle. So, how do you put this all together? You have trading fees, spread fees, and withdrawal fees. Can feel overwhelming. The key is to think about your own strategy. Are you a hyperactive day trader making dozens of trades a week? If so, that tiny trading fee is your biggest enemy. A fee of 0.5% might not sound like much, but do that 100 times and it will eat your account alive. You need to find an app with the absolute lowest maker-taker fees, even if it's a bit more complicated to use. Or are you a long-term investor? You just want to buy a little Bitcoin and Ethereum every month and hold it for years. In that case, the trading fee is less important than the spread and the withdrawal fees. You want an app where you're getting a fair market price when you buy, and one that won't charge you a fortune if you eventually decide to move your coins to a secure wallet for long-term storage. Let me give you a real-world example. App A boasts zero commissions. You decide to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. Because of their hidden spread, the price they sell it to you at is 1.5% higher than the real market price. So you don't actually get $100 of Bitcoin. You get $98.50 worth. You lost $1.50 right off the bat. Now let's look at App B. It's a more pro platform and it charges a 0.2% taker fee. You buy that same $100 of Bitcoin. They charge you the fee, which is 20 cents. You end up with $99.80 worth of Bitcoin. By ignoring the flashy advertising and looking at the real numbers, you are already $1.30 ahead on App B. Now imagine doing that every week for 5 years. We're talking about hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars saved just by choosing the right fee structure for you. Fees are not the enemy. They are simply the price of admission. But not all tickets cost the same. Your job as a savvy investor is to find the app that gives you the best seat for the lowest price. It means doing a little homework. It means going to their website and finding that boring fee schedule page and actually reading it. But the 5 minutes you spend doing that could be the most profitable 5 minutes of your entire investment journey. It ensures the money you work so hard to invest actually stays your money. Okay, so you found a secure, easy-to-use app with a fee structure you can live with. You're ready to buy. But what can you buy? Because not all apps are created equal. Some only offer you the top 2 coins, while others open the door to a universe of thousands. And choosing the right universe, the one with the right selection of assets for your goals, is way more important than you might think. Let's think about it like this. Walking into a crypto app for the first time is like walking into a brand new massive grocery store. The app that only offers Bitcoin and Ethereum? That's like a small convenience store on the corner. It's got the milk and the bread, the absolute essentials. You can't go wrong, it's reliable, but your options are limited. Then you have the apps that are like a full-blown supermarket, aisle after aisle of different products. And finally, you have the apps that are like a gigantic international food bazaar. Thousands upon thousands of items you've never even heard of, from every corner of the globe. Spices you can't pronounce, fruits that look like they're from another planet. It's both exciting and completely overwhelming. The key is realizing you don't need to buy everything. You just need to know what the aisles are for so you can build the shopping cart that's right for you. So let's start with the essentials, the milk and bread of the crypto world: Bitcoin and Ethereum. Nearly every single app in existence will offer you these two. They are the bedrock. Bitcoin is the original, the one that started it all. Think of it as digital gold. It's designed to be a store of value, a hedge against inflation. It's simple, it's secure, and its primary purpose is to be money. That's its job. It's not trying to be a million different things. It's the king sitting on its throne. Then you have Ethereum. If Bitcoin is digital gold, Ethereum is like the digital world supercomputer, or maybe a better analogy is the invention of the internet itself. It's not just about money. Ethereum introduced the idea of smart contracts, which are basically just programs that run on the blockchain. This opened the floodgates. It allowed developers to build applications, decentralized applications, or dApps. On top of it, think of all the apps on your phone. Now imagine them running on a global, transparent, and censorship-resistant network. That's the promise of Ethereum. It's the foundation upon which thousands of other projects are built. So, when you're in that crypto grocery store, Bitcoin and Ethereum are in the very first aisle. They are the blue-chip assets. They have the longest track record, the most security, and the largest communities. For many beginners, starting here is the safest bet. But what about everything else? What about the other 9,998 items in this massive store? Well, everything that isn't Bitcoin is collectively known as an altcoin, short for alternative coin. And this is where things get really interesting and frankly really risky. The altcoin aisles can be broken down into a few categories. First, you have the competitors. These are other foundational blockchains, often called layer ones, that are trying to do what Ethereum does but better, faster, or cheaper. Think of projects like Solana, Cardano, or Avalanche. In our grocery store analogy, if Ethereum is the original national brand of flour, these are the competing brands. Maybe one is organic, one is cheaper, one is better for baking cakes. They all aim to be the foundational layer for new applications, but they each have different technology, different trade-offs, and different communities backing them. Some people believe one of these will eventually flip Ethereum and become the new king of smart contracts. Others believe there's room for many to coexist. Choosing to invest in one of these is like betting on which brand of flour will dominate the market in 5 years. Next, you have the utility tokens. These aren't trying to be money or a new internet. They have a very specific job within a specific application. Think of them like a specialized tool or a specific ingredient for a recipe. For example, a project like Chainlink doesn't have its own blockchain. It runs on Ethereum. Its job is to provide real-world data, like the price of corn or the score of a baseball game, to the blockchain. Its token link is used to pay for that service. Or think of Filecoin, a project for decentralized data storage. Its token is used to pay for storage space. You wouldn't buy a whole pallet of paprika if you're not cooking a dish that needs it. Similarly, the value of these utility tokens is directly tied to how much people are actually using their specific service. This is where real research comes in. You're no longer just betting on a big brand. You're betting on the success of a very specific product. Then you have a fascinating category: governance tokens. Imagine if, by buying a specific brand of cereal, you got a vote on what the next flavor would be. That's a governance token. Many decentralized finance or DeFi projects issue these tokens to their users. Holding the token gives you a say in the future of the project. You can vote on proposals, changes to the fee structure, or new features. It's a way to decentralize control and give power to the community. The value here is part speculation on the project's success, and part the value of having a voice in its direction. And now we have to venture into the most volatile, most talked about, and most dangerous aisle in the entire store. The aisle with the bright, flashy packaging and the cartoon characters on the box. We're talking about meme coins, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and the thousands of others that pop up every day. Let's be crystal clear. These are the candy and junk food aisle of crypto. They are almost entirely driven by hype, social media trends, and community excitement. Do they have a deep technological purpose or a specific utility? Almost never. Their purpose is to be a meme. Can people make an insane amount of money on them? Absolutely. We've all seen the stories. But for every person who got rich, there are thousands who lost their entire investment. The price of a meme coin is not based on fundamentals. It's based on attention. And attention is fickle. Can be here today and gone tomorrow. Buying meme coins isn't investing. It's pure high-stakes gambling. If you choose to play in this aisle, you must do so with money you are fully 100% prepared to lose. It's the lottery ticket section of the crypto store. Finally, there's one more crucial section we need to visit, and it's probably the least exciting but one of the most important: the stablecoins. Think of these as the cash registers or the gift cards of the crypto world. Projects like USDC, Tether, and DAI are designed to be pegged one-to-one to a stable asset, usually the US dollar. One USDC is designed to always be worth $1. They don't go up in value. So why would you want one? Because the crypto market is incredibly volatile. If you sell your Bitcoin when it's high, you might not want to immediately transfer that money back to your bank account. Maybe you want to wait for a dip to buy back in. By converting it to a stable coin, you can hold your value in US dollars, but keep it within the crypto ecosystem, ready to be deployed in seconds. It's your safe harbor in a storm, a stable place to park your money without exiting the market completely. So you see, an app's list of supported assets is its entire inventory. An app that only offers Bitcoin and Ethereum is telling you it's a conservative, safe place to start. An app like Coinbase that offers hundreds of assets, from top-tier altcoins to some utility tokens, is like a well-curated supermarket. And an app like KuCoin or a decentralized exchange that offers thousands of obscure, brand new tokens is that wild international bazaar. There's incredible opportunity, but there's also a much higher chance you end up buying something that goes to zero. Your choice of app, therefore, directly defines your investment universe. It sets the boundaries of your strategy before you even place your first trade. The question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of shopper are you? Are you just there for the milk and bread? Or are you looking for something a little more exotic? Because knowing what's on the shelves is only half the battle. You also have to understand the price tag. And I'm not just talking about the price of the coin itself. I'm talking about the hidden costs, the fees that can slowly and silently drain your account balance. And some apps are far more expensive than others. The way they calculate and hide these fees is something you absolutely need to understand before you spend a single dollar. Let's imagine you go to a fancy restaurant. You order a steak listed on the menu for $50. But when the bill comes, it's $95. You see charges for a plate usage fee, a cutlery rental fee, an ambience surcharge, and a chef's inspiration tax. You'd be furious, right? You'd feel cheated because the true cost was hidden from you. This is exactly what happens every single day on crypto apps, and the most dangerous part is most people never even see the itemized bill. The first and most misunderstood charge is called the spread. This is the silent killer of profits, the #1 way beginner-focused apps make a fortune without ever showing you a line item called fee. The spread is simply the difference between the price an app is willing to buy a cryptocurrency for and the price they're willing to sell it to you for. Let's say the true global market price of one Bitcoin is exactly $70,000. An app with a wide spread might show you a buy price of $70,300. And if you wanted to sell it 1 second later, they might offer you a sell price of $69,700. That $600 gap between the buy and sell price? That's the spread. It's their profit margin baked directly into the price you pay. You don't see a fee because the fee is the price. It's like going to a currency exchange at the airport. They advertise zero commission, but they give you a terrible exchange rate. It's the same trick. Some apps have a very small or tight spread while others have a massive one. And the apps designed to look the simplest are often the worst offenders. Now let's contrast that with the more transparent model. Trading fees. This is what you'll find on more advanced platforms. Instead of hiding the cost in the price, they show you the real market price and then charge you a small explicit percentage for making the trade. This is where you hear the terms maker and taker fees. It sounds complicated, but the concept is simple. Think of it like a farmer's market. A maker is the farmer who brings their vegetables and sets up a stall. They are making the market. They are adding liquidity, putting orders on the books for others to see. A taker is the customer who walks up to the stall and buys the vegetables that are already there. They are taking from the market, they are removing liquidity. In the crypto world, if you place a limit order, meaning you set a specific price you're willing to buy or sell at and wait for the market to come to you, you're a maker. Because you're adding an order to the order book, you're rewarded with a lower fee. If you place a market order, meaning you say, I want to buy right now at the best available price, you're a taker. You're taking the offer someone else made, so you pay a slightly higher fee. The key takeaway is that these maker/taker fees are usually a tiny fraction of a percent, like 0.1 or 0.2%. This is almost always dramatically cheaper than paying the hidden spread on a simple app. Let's put this into a real-world story. Meet Alex. Alex has $100 and wants to buy his first piece of Bitcoin. He downloads 2 types of apps. First, he opens app with a simple app. It has a big friendly buy button. He types in $100. The app tells him the price of Bitcoin is $70,000 and he'll get 0.00142 Bitcoin for his money after their $2.99 transaction fee. Seems straightforward. But what Alex doesn't see is that the real market price of Bitcoin at that moment was only $69,500. The app baked a $500 spread into the price he paid. So, he paid a visible fee of $2.99 and an invisible fee through the spread. His $100 is already fighting a serious uphill battle. Now Alex opens app B, the advanced platform. It looks a little more intimidating with charts and numbers, but he navigates to the trading pair for Bitcoin and US dollars. He sees the real price, $69,500. He decides to place a market order to buy $100 worth instantly. He's a taker. The platform charges him a taker fee of, let's say, 0.4%. 0.4% of $100 is just 40 cents. 40 cents. His total cost is a transparent 40 cents. He gets more Bitcoin for his money because he wasn't charged a hidden spread and his explicit fee was a fraction of the cost. In one single transaction, Alex on App B is already significantly ahead of Alex on App A. Now multiply that difference by every single trade you might make over years. It's the difference between building wealth and having it slowly siphoned away. But the fees don't stop there. The next trap is how you get your money onto the platform in the first place. This is the deposit fee. You'll almost always see two main options: connect your bank account via ACH transfer, or pay with a debit or credit card. Paying with a card is instant. Feels good. Your money is there, ready to trade in seconds. But for that convenience, apps will charge you an exorbitant fee, often between 3 and 5%. A 5% fee on a $1,000 deposit is $50. You've lost $50 before you've even placed a trade. The alternative, an ACH bank transfer, might take 3 to 5 business days for the funds to clear. It requires patience, but the fee is often zero. Free. The choice is yours. Do you want to pay a $50 premium for instant gratification? Or do you want to plan ahead and keep that $50 to invest? World-class investors always choose the latter. Okay, so you've avoided the spread, you've used a low-fee trading platform, and you've deposited your money for free via ACH. You're doing great. Now you want to move your crypto off the exchange and into your own personal wallet for safekeeping, a move we highly recommend. Well, get ready for the withdrawal fee. When you move crypto from one address to another, you have to pay a network fee, sometimes called a gas fee, on networks like Ethereum. This fee doesn't go to the app. It goes to the miners or validators who secure the blockchain network and process your transaction. This fee fluctuates based on how busy the network is. Here's the critical part: how the app handles this fee. Some exchanges will charge you the exact network fee, which is the honest way to do it. But many others will charge you a flat, inflated withdrawal fee that is much higher than the actual network cost. They might charge a flat fee of, say, $25 to withdraw your Ethereum, even when the actual network fee is only $5. They pocket the $20 difference. It's another hidden profit center. And worst of all, some platforms historically didn't even allow you to withdraw your coins. You could buy and sell on their platform, but you couldn't send your Bitcoin to your own wallet. If you can't withdraw your crypto, you don't truly own it. You own an IOU from a company. It's a critical feature to check. Can you actually take custody of your own assets? So let's recap the minefield of fees. You have the spread, the silent profit eater hidden in the price itself. You have maker/taker trading fees, the more transparent alternative. You have deposit fees, where they punish you for the convenience of using a debit card. And you have withdrawal fees, where they can overcharge you to move your own money. Understanding this fee structure is the single most important technical detail for a new investor. It's not about finding the app with the prettiest design. It's about finding the one that respects your capital and isn't designed to slowly bleed you dry with 1,000 tiny cuts. Because now that you know what to look for, you can start to compare them. And when you do, it becomes glaringly obvious which platforms are built for your success and which are built for their own. So let's put this to the test. Let's take two of the biggest, most reputable names in the US market, Coinbase and Kraken. Both are fantastic platforms, but they're designed with slightly different philosophies, and those differences show up in your bank account. Let's imagine a beginner, we'll call her Sarah. Sarah has done her research, she's ready to jump in, and she has $1,000 she wants to use to buy her first piece of Bitcoin. She starts with Coinbase because frankly it's everywhere. The user interface is beautiful, clean, and feels as simple as using Venmo. There's a big blue buy button, and it seems like the most obvious thing in the world to click. She types in $1,000, selects Bitcoin, and hits preview. The app shows her she'll get, let's say 0.015 Bitcoin. She confirms the purchase. The transaction is instant. It's done. She's officially a crypto owner. Feels amazing. But what just happened behind the scenes? Coinbase's simple trade feature is built for convenience, not cost efficiency. First, there's the spread, which is a tiny margin they build into the price itself. The price you buy at is slightly higher than the true market price, and the price you sell at is slightly lower. On top of that, there's the explicit Coinbase fee. For a $1,000 transaction, that combination of spread and fee can easily add up to 1.5, even 2%. So, of Sarah's $1,000, about $20 was instantly vaporized. She didn't actually buy $1,000 of Bitcoin. She bought about $980 worth of Bitcoin, and paid $20 for the convenience. The app didn't lie, but it presented the information in a way that made the cost almost invisible. Now let's rewind. Let's say Sarah chose Kraken instead. When she opens the Kraken app, it might look a little more professional. There are charts, there's an order book, things are flashing red and green. Can feel a bit more intimidating. But Kraken uses what's called a maker-taker fee model, which is standard in the professional trading world. For a beginner making a simple market purchase, she would be a taker. On a $1,000 trade, Kraken's taker fee is around 0.26%. That's it. There's no big hidden spread on top. So when Sarah makes the exact same $1,000 Bitcoin purchase, the fee is $2.60. Let that sink in. On the very first transaction of her crypto journey, the choice of platform made the difference between a $20 fee and a $2.60 fee. She started her journey on Kraken with $17.40 more Bitcoin than she would have on Coinbase simple feature. Now you might be thinking, $17? Who cares? But this is where the death by 1,000 cuts begins. Let's fast forward a few months. The market has been good and Bitcoin is up 20%. Sarah's initial investment has grown. On Coinbase, her $980 is now worth $1,176. She decides to sell. Again, she hits the simple sell button and gets hit with another fee of around 1.5%. After that fee, she walks away with about $1,158, a total profit of $158. Not bad. But what about on Kraken? Her $997.40 grew by the same 20%. It's now worth $1,196.88. She decides to sell, paying another tiny 0.26% taker fee. She walks away with $1,193, a total profit of $193. Her profit is $35 higher on Kraken for making the exact same two trades. That's not $17 anymore. The fee gap is compounding. Now imagine Sarah makes just 10 trades over the course of a year. That $35 difference could easily become $350. That's not just a couple of bucks. That's a car payment. That's a nice dinner for her entire family. It's real money, leaked from her portfolio simply because one app prioritized ultimate simplicity, while the other prioritized cost efficiency. And to be fair, Coinbase has an advanced trade section with fees that are very competitive with Kraken, but the platform is designed to steer beginners away from it. They bank on you choosing the path of least resistance. So you've navigated the fee structures. You've made your first purchase on a cost-effective platform, and you're holding more crypto for your dollar. Fantastic. But now comes the single most important question you will ever face in this space. Is your money safe? Because the cheapest, most efficient on-ramp in the world is completely worthless if the house you're storing your money in has no locks on the doors. Platform security isn't a feature. It's the foundation everything else is built on. And if you get this part wrong, nothing else matters. The first and most critical layer of this foundation is something called two-factor authentication, or 2FA. You've seen this before. It's when you log in with your password, and then the site asks for a special 6-digit code from your phone to prove it's really you. But here is a piece of information that could literally save you your entire portfolio. Not all 2FA is created equal. There are two main types. The first is SMS-based 2FA, where they text the code to your phone number. The second is Authenticator App 2FA, where you use an app like Google Authenticator or Authy to generate the code. You must, under absolutely no circumstances, ever use SMS-based 2FA for your crypto accounts. I'll say it again. Never use SMS. Why? Because of a terrifyingly common hack called a SIM swap. A hacker can call your cell phone provider, pretend to be you, and convince the customer service agent to transfer your phone number to a new SIM card that they control. Once they have your number, they can initiate a password reset on your crypto account, receive the 2FA code via text, and drain your funds in minutes. You won't even know it's happening until your phone suddenly loses service. It is the single biggest security vulnerability for the average crypto user. A top-tier crypto app will not just offer Authenticator App 2FA, it will practically force you to use it. It is the bare minimum standard for security. If an app you're considering only offers SMS verification, close it and delete it immediately. It's a sign they do not take security seriously, and you are putting yourself at catastrophic risk. Beyond your personal login security, you need to look at how the platform itself secures the funds it holds. This is where you'll hear the term cold storage. This doesn't mean they're putting your Bitcoin in a refrigerator. It means the private keys that control the crypto are stored on devices that are completely disconnected from the internet. Hackers can't touch what they can't connect to. The industry standard for a top exchange is to hold 95% or more of customer assets in cold storage. This is non-negotiable. You'll also see platforms advertise that your US dollar cash balances are FDIC insured, just like a regular bank. This is great and it's true, but it's a point of massive confusion for beginners. Let me be crystal clear. FDIC insurance covers the cash you have sitting in your account. It does not, in any way, shape, or form, cover your crypto holdings. If the exchange goes bankrupt, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, it is not protected by the US government. However, the best exchanges have private insurance policies. They purchase massive insurance plans from syndicates like Lloyd's of London to protect against theft from a hack of their systems. This is a huge deal. It means if a sophisticated hacking group manages to breach the exchange's cold storage and steal funds, there's a pool of money to make customers whole. But again, there's a critical distinction. This insurance covers the platform's failure, not yours. If you fall for a phishing email, give your password away, or get SIM swap because you used SMS 2FA, that insurance will not cover you. Security is a shared responsibility. You have to lock your own front door. The platform's job is to make sure the bank vault is secure. So we've covered the cost of entry and how to protect your assets on the platform. But what about the assets themselves? Not all apps offer the same coins. And the difference between buying a blue-chip crypto and a forgotten altcoin can be the difference between building wealth and riding a project straight to zero. Next, we'll break down coin selection and why the library of assets an app offers is one of the most underrated features of all. The number of coins an app offers isn't just a feature, it's a philosophy. It's a direct reflection of the company's entire approach to risk, to opportunity, and to you, the user. On one side of the spectrum, you have what I call the walled garden. These are apps like Coinbase, Robinhood, and even PayPal or Cash App. Their philosophy is curation and safety above all else. They list a relatively small number of assets, dozens, maybe a couple hundred at most. But every single one of those assets has been put through an exhaustive vetting process. Their legal teams have crawled all over it, their security teams have analyzed it, and they've made a calculated decision that this project is established enough, legitimate enough, and has enough trading volume to be offered to their massive user base. For a brand new investor, this is a godsend. The walled garden protects you from yourself. It drastically reduces the chances of you accidentally buying a scam coin that goes to zero overnight, a rug pull, where the developers just vanish with everyone's money. When you're just starting out, your biggest enemy isn't market volatility. It's your own lack of knowledge. You don't yet know how to spot red flags, how to analyze a project's legitimacy, or how to differentiate between a revolutionary new technology and a clever marketing scam. The walled garden acts as your filter. It limits your choices to the blue chips, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, and other large, well-known projects. The downside? You are living in their world by their rules. You will almost never find a small, undiscovered gem with 100x growth potential on these platforms. By the time a coin gets listed on a major app like Coinbase, the explosive early-stage growth has often already happened. You're sacrificing massive upside potential for security and simplicity. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum is the Wild West. These are exchanges like KuCoin or MEXC, platforms that often list hundreds, even thousands of different cryptocurrencies. Their philosophy is access and opportunity. They operate on the principle that you, the user, should have the freedom to invest in whatever you want as early as you want. They will list brand new projects, obscure altcoins, and tokens with tiny market caps that you have never, ever heard of. This is where you find the moonshots. This is where traders hunt for projects that could, in theory, turn $1,000 into $100,000. The potential for reward is astronomical, but the risk is equally astronomical. The Wild West is littered with the corpses of dead projects, abandoned tokens, and outright scams. The vetting process is minimal, if it exists at all. It is entirely up to you to do the research, to sift through the digital dirt to find that one tiny speck of gold. If you invest in a coin on one of these platforms and it goes to zero, that's on you. There is no safety net. It requires a significant amount of knowledge, a high tolerance for risk, and an acceptance that you will probably lose money on several projects before you ever find a winner. For a beginner, wandering into the Wild West is like stepping into a minefield blindfolded. The sheer number of choices is paralyzing, and the potential for a catastrophic mistake is immense. So, we have the safe but limited walled garden, and the high potential but treacherous Wild West. But most people will find their home in the middle, in what we can call the expanded universe. These are apps like Kraken, Binance.us, or Crypto.com. They offer a much wider selection of assets than the walled gardens, often many hundreds of coins. They provide access to a lot more of the crypto ecosystem, including promising mid-cap projects, popular new blockchains, and established DeFi tokens. However, they still maintain a reasonably strict listing process. They aren't just letting anything and everything onto their platform. They strike a balance. They give you more freedom to explore and invest in up-and-coming projects without throwing you completely to the wolves. The critical question you have to ask yourself is, who am I as an investor right now? Your answer will point you to the right type of app. If you are an absolute beginner, if your goal is simply to buy your first fraction of a Bitcoin or some Ethereum just to get your feet wet, start in the walled garden. Period. Use Coinbase. Use Robinhood. Learn the absolute basics of buying, selling, and holding in a low-risk environment. Your goal is not to get rich overnight. Your goal is to learn without getting burned. Resisting the temptation to chase obscure coins is the first, and most important, discipline you can learn in this space. Now let's say you've been at it for 6 months or a year. You understand market cap, you've read a few white papers, and you've been following a specific project in the gaming or decentralized finance space that you truly believe in. You've done your homework, but it's not listed on the app you started with. Now, you are ready to graduate to the expanded universe. You're ready for an app like Kraken or Binance.us that gives you more options, because you've armed yourself with the knowledge to navigate those options safely. You have a specific reason for moving, a specific asset you want to invest in based on your own research. And what about the Wild West? Honestly, most investors never need to go there. This is the territory of advanced traders and speculators, people who are willing to gamble on high-risk, unproven projects. If you find yourself drawn to these platforms, you need to do so with a tiny fraction of your portfolio that you are fully 100% prepared to lose. This is not investing, it's speculation in its purest form. So how do you actually check what coins an app supports before you go through the entire hassle of signing up and verifying your identity? It's actually pretty simple. First, just go to the app's website. Don't look on the App Store page, go to their full desktop website. There will almost always be a link in the header or footer labeled Prices, Markets, or Supported Assets. This will give you the complete, up-to-date list of everything they offer for trading. You can see right away if that one specific coin you're interested in is on the list. The second and more powerful way is to use a third-party data aggregator like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. These sites are like the encyclopedias of crypto. You can search for any cryptocurrency in existence, let's say Cardano. You click on its page, and you'll see a tab labeled Markets. This tab shows you every single exchange in the world where you can buy and sell Cardano, ranked by volume. This is the ultimate pro tip. Instead of starting with an app and seeing what it offers, you can start with the coin you want to invest in and find out exactly which apps offer it. This reverses the entire process and puts the power back in your hands, ensuring you sign up for a platform that actually meets your specific investment goals. Choosing an app based on its coin library isn't about finding the one with the most coins. It's about finding the one with the right coins for your stage in the crypto journey. It's a strategic decision. Starting with a limited, curated list builds good habits and protects your capital. Graduating to a platform with more options allows you to act on your own research and expand your portfolio. And venturing into the platforms with thousands of coins requires expertise and an iron stomach for risk. The library of assets is the arena, and choosing the right app is like choosing whether you want to start in the training grounds or be dropped straight into the gladiator pit. But finding and buying the right assets is only the first step. Once you own these digital assets, a whole new world of possibilities opens up. The biggest mistake investors make is thinking that their crypto just has to sit there, waiting for the price to go up. But the best platforms allow you to do so much more. They allow you to put your assets to work, to generate income, and to participate in the network itself. Simply holding these assets is just level 1. The real magic begins when you make your crypto work for you. And that's where we're going next. Into the world of earning passive income on your digital assets. So what does that actually mean, earning passive income? Is it some kind of crypto magic? Well, in a way, yes, but it's magic with rules, risks, and incredible potential. This isn't about day trading or trying to time the market. This is about taking the assets you already own and putting them to work, generating more crypto while you sleep, while you work, while you live your life. We're going to break down the 3 main ways you can do this. Starting with the simplest and most common method, you'll find in almost every major crypto app: staking. At its core, staking is the crypto equivalent of earning dividends on a stock or interest in a high-yield savings account. But the why is much cooler. Remember how we talked about proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin, where miners solve complex puzzles to validate transactions? Well, many newer cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana use a different system called proof of stake. Instead of using massive computing power, these networks are secured by users who lock up, or stake, their own coins as a form of collateral. Think of it like this. By staking your coins, you're raising your hand and saying, "I believe in this network, and I'm putting my own money on the line to prove it." You are vouching for the integrity of the transactions. In return for this service, for helping to secure and run the network rewards you. And how does it reward you? With more of the same coin you're staking. So, if you stake your Ethereum, you earn more Ethereum. If you stake Cardano, you earn more Cardano. This is a powerful concept. You're not just a passive investor anymore. You're an active participant in the ecosystem. Your reward, often expressed as an APY or annual percentage yield, can range from a modest 3% to over 20% depending on the specific cryptocurrency and network conditions. Now, how do you actually do it? This is where the top crypto apps make it incredibly simple for beginners. You don't need to run a complex server or understand command line code. Inside apps like Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance, you'll often find a section labeled Earn or Staking. With just a few taps, you can choose which of your eligible assets you want to stake and how much. The exchange handles all the technical complexity on the back end. They pool your funds with thousands of other users, run the necessary hardware, and pass the rewards back to you, usually taking a small fee for the convenience. But, and this is a big but, it's not risk-free. There are a few key things you have to understand. First, lockup periods. When you stake your crypto, it's often locked for a specific period. Could be a few days, a few weeks, or even longer. During this time, you can't sell it or trade it. So if the price of your asset suddenly plummets, you have to ride it out. You can't panic sell. Second, there's a risk called slashing. If the validator you're staked with, in this case, the exchange, acts maliciously or makes a mistake, the network can penalize them by taking away, or slashing, a portion of their staked coins. This is rare on major exchanges, but it's a fundamental risk of the system. Finally, and most importantly, the value of your rewards is tied to the value of the asset. Earning a 10% APY on a coin that drops 50% in value still means you've lost money in dollar terms. Staking amplifies your gains in a bull market, but it doesn't protect you from a bear market. So that's staking. It's the front door to earning passive income in crypto. It's relatively straightforward, widely available, and directly ties you to the success of the blockchain you're investing in. Now let's move to the next level: crypto lending. If staking is like putting your money in a savings account where you help the network, crypto lending is like becoming the bank yourself. You are lending your assets to other people, and in return they pay you interest. Why would someone want to borrow your crypto? Usually it's for trading. Traders might want to borrow Bitcoin to short the market, or borrow a stablecoin like USDC to leverage a long position without having to sell their own assets. Here's how it works on a centralized app. You go to the Lend or Earn section and deposit an asset, let's say a stablecoin like USDC, because they are pegged to the US dollar and not volatile. The platform then lends your USDC out to a vetted institutional borrower or a pool of borrowers. The key here is that these borrowers must put up collateral, often in an amount greater than what they're borrowing. This is called over-collateralization, and it's your primary safety net. If the borrower can't pay back the loan, the platform liquidates their collateral to make you whole. For taking on this role, you earn interest, often at a much higher rate than any traditional bank could offer. The rates fluctuate based on supply and demand. If a lot of people want to borrow a certain asset, the interest rate you earn for lending it goes up. The beauty of lending, especially with stablecoins, is that you can generate yield without being directly exposed to the wild price swings of assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum. You're earning a consistent interest rate on an asset that's designed to hold its value at $1. But again, let's talk about risk because it's different from staking. The main risk here is platform risk. You are trusting the app or the company to be a good custodian of your funds, to properly vet borrowers, and to manage the collateral. If the platform itself gets hacked, mismanages its funds, or goes bankrupt, as we saw with infamous cases like Celsius and BlockFi, your funds could be lost forever. Unlike a bank, there is no FDIC insurance for your crypto deposits. This is why choosing a reputable, well-established platform is absolutely critical if you decide to explore crypto lending. You are giving up custody of your keys for the convenience of earning yield, and that is a trade-off you must be comfortable with. So we have staking helping the network and lending acting as the bank. Now let's venture into the deep end of the pool, a strategy that offers the highest potential rewards but also carries the highest, most complex risks. Yield farming, also known as liquidity providing. This one is a little more abstract, so stick with me. Imagine a currency exchange booth at an international airport. To operate, the owner needs to have a supply of both US dollars and euros on hand so that travelers can swap between them. The owner makes money by charging a tiny fee on every single transaction. In the world of decentralized finance, or DeFi, these currency exchange booths are called liquidity pools, on platforms known as decentralized exchanges, or DEXs. These aren't companies, they're just code smart contracts that run on the blockchain. And they need people like you to provide the inventory. As a liquidity provider, you deposit a pair of assets into a pool. For example, you might deposit an equal value of Ethereum and USDC into the ETH/USDC liquidity pool. By doing this, you are providing the liquidity that allows thousands of other users to seamlessly trade between Ethereum and USDC. And for providing this crucial service, you get a reward. Every time someone makes a trade using your pool, you earn a tiny fraction of the trading fee, proportional to how much of the pool you provided. This is where the term farming comes in. On top of those trading fees, many platforms will also give you extra rewards in the form of their own governance token, which you are farming. It's an incentive to get you to provide liquidity to their platform instead of a competitor's. The potential APYs can look astronomical, sometimes reaching into the hundreds or even thousands of %. But this is where the flashing red warning lights need to go off. The risks are substantial. First, you have smart contract risk. Since you're interacting with code, a bug or an exploit in that code could lead to the entire pool being drained by a hacker. Second, you have the risk of impermanent loss. This is the big, scary, and confusing one, but the concept is simple. Let's go back to our currency exchange booth. You started with $1,000 worth of assets, $500 in US dollars and $500 in euros. Now, let's say the value of the euro doubles overnight. What happens? Everyone will rush to your booth to trade their now less valuable dollars for your still cheap euros. The pool automatically rebalances, and you end up with way more US dollars and way fewer euros. If you were to withdraw your funds right then, the total value might only be, say, $1,400. But if you had just held your original dollars and euros separately without putting them in the pool, their combined value would be $1,500. That $100 difference is impermanent loss. It's the opportunity cost you paid for providing liquidity, while one asset dramatically outperformed the other. It's a risk that can eat away at your profits, and in some cases, cause you to lose money even with high APY rewards. So, to recap the hierarchy of risk and reward, staking is the lowest risk, like a savings account. Lending is the medium risk, like peer-to-peer lending. And yield farming is the highest risk, like being a professional market maker, with complex forces at play. For a beginner, the message is clear. Start at the beginning. Explore the staking options within the trusted, centralized app you're already using. See how it feels to earn a few percent APY on an asset you believe in long-term. As you get more comfortable, you can learn more about the others, but never ever invest in a passive income strategy you don't fully understand. The promise of a high APY can be a siren song leading you straight toward the rocks. True value comes from understanding not just the reward, but the precise nature of the risk you are taking to achieve it. And this brings us to the bedrock of your entire crypto journey. The one feature set that isn't about making money, but about not losing it all in a heartbeat: security. Think about it. We just talked about risk. The risk of a project failing, the risk of market volatility. But there's a far more personal, far more devastating risk that beginners often ignore until it's too late: the risk of theft. The risk of getting your account drained because of one single mistake. In traditional finance, your bank has firewalls, fraud departments, and federal insurance. They spend billions to protect your money. In crypto, you are the bank. Let me say that again because it's the most important concept you need to internalize. You are the bank. And that means you are also the head of security. The good news is that the top crypto apps have built-in features designed to be your security team, but you have to be the one to activate them and use them correctly. The first and most non-negotiable is two-factor authentication, or 2FA. This is your digital deadbolt. If a hacker gets your password, and you have to assume that one day someone will, 2FA is the second lock they have to pick. But not all 2FA is created equal. Most apps will offer you two main choices: SMS-based 2FA, where they text a code to your phone, or Authenticator app-based 2FA, using an app like Google Authenticator or Authy. You must, without exception, choose the Authenticator app. Why? Because hackers have become terrifyingly good at an attack called a SIM swap. They call your mobile provider, pretend to be you, and convince the customer service agent to transfer your phone number to a new SIM card that they control. Once they do that, they get all your text messages. They can reset your passwords, and they get your SMS 2FA codes. Your digital life and your crypto can be gone in minutes. An Authenticator app, however, lives on your physical device. The codes it generates are not tied to your phone number, making them infinitely more secure against this specific, and increasingly common, attack. Setting it up takes 3 minutes. Not setting it up could cost you everything. The next security feature you should look for and enable is address whitelisting. This is a brilliant and criminally underused safety net. Think of it like a pre-approved list of bank accounts you're allowed to send money to. With whitelisting enabled, you can only withdraw your crypto to addresses that you have previously added to a safe list. And typically, when you add a new address, there's a mandatory waiting period, like 24 or 48 hours, before you can use it. Now, you might think this is inconvenient, but imagine this scenario. A hacker gets into your account. They want to drain your funds to their own wallet. They add their wallet address, but because you have whitelisting enabled, they have to wait 24 hours. In that time, the app sends you an email and a notification. A new withdrawal address has been added. You see it, you realize you've been compromised, and you have a 24-hour window to lock your account and contact support. That inconvenience just saved your life savings. It turns a potential catastrophe into a manageable crisis. Beyond these, you have the basics like biometric logins, using your fingerprint or face to open the app, which are great for preventing someone who physically has your unlocked phone from getting in. But the real security battle isn't just fought inside the app. It's fought inside your inbox and your direct messages. The number one way people lose their crypto isn't through a brute force hack of the exchange, but through phishing. You'll get an email that looks exactly like it's from Coinbase or Kraken. It will have their logo, their colors, everything. It will say something urgent, designed to make you panic. Suspicious login detected. Secure your account now. Or, your account will be suspended. Verify your identity. You click the link in a panic, it takes you to a website that is a perfect clone of the real one. You enter your username and password, and it's over. They have your credentials. Here is the rule you must burn into your brain. Never, ever click a link in an email to log into your crypto exchange. Always, without fail, close the email, open a new browser window, and manually type in the website address yourself. The same goes for social media. You will get DMs on Twitter or Telegram from people pretending to be customer support. They'll say they need your password or, even worse, your wallet's seed phrase to fix a problem. And this is the ultimate crypto commandment. No one, not from Coinbase, not from Gemini, not from the company that made your wallet, not even the creator of Bitcoin himself, will ever, under any circumstances, ask for your password or your seed phrase. Your seed phrase is the master key to a self-custody wallet. Giving it to someone is like handing a stranger the deed to your house and the keys to your front door. It is sacred. You write it down on paper, you store it in a safe, and you never ever type it into a computer or speak it to another human being. Finally, let's talk about insurance. You'll see apps like Coinbase and Gemini advertise that they are insured. This is a massive selling point, but you need to understand the fine print. The cash you hold in your account, your US dollars, is often FDIC insured up to $250,000, just like a regular bank account. That's fantastic. But the crypto itself is a different story. The insurance they carry is primarily to protect against a catastrophic hack of the exchange itself. If their hot wallets get drained by a sophisticated hacking group, what it does not cover is you. It does not cover you getting phished. It does not cover you sending your Bitcoin to a scammer's address. It does not cover your account being compromised because you didn't use a strong password or 2FA. Remember, you are the bank and you are also the head of security. The app provides the tools, but the responsibility is ultimately yours. Now, once you've secured your assets, there's one more critical and often dreaded area of responsibility we need to talk about: taxes. This is the part nobody wants to hear, but ignoring it can cause more financial pain than a market crash. In the United States, the IRS views cryptocurrency not as currency but as property. This has a massive implication. It means that nearly every single thing you do is a potentially taxable event. Did you buy Bitcoin and then sell it for a profit a year later? That's a taxable event. Did you trade your Ethereum for some Solana because you thought it had more potential? That's a taxable event. Did you use some of your crypto to buy a coffee or a pizza? Believe it or not, that is also a taxable event. You are technically selling your crypto for the value of that coffee, and if the crypto has gone up in value since you first acquired it, you owe capital gains tax on that tiny profit. Now imagine doing hundreds of trades a year, trying to track the cost basis, the price you paid for every single coin, and then calculating the gain or loss on every single transaction is a logistical nightmare. It's enough to make you want to quit before you even start. This is where the best crypto apps provide a feature that is arguably one of the most valuable of all: tax reporting and transaction history. Top-tier exchanges know that this is a major pain point for their users, so they've built tools to help. At a minimum, a good app will allow you to download a complete, detailed history of every trade, deposit, and withdrawal you've ever made. You can export it as a CSV file that you or your accountant can then work with. But the best platforms are going a step further. They are now integrating directly with specialized crypto tax software companies like CoinTracker, Coinly, or TaxBit. With a few clicks, you can sync your exchange account with one of these services, and it will automatically pull in all your transaction data, categorize it, and generate the specific tax forms you need, like Form 8949, to file with your tax return. This feature is not flashy. It doesn't promise you 100x gains. It's the boring, administrative, grown-up side of crypto, but its value is immense. It provides peace of mind. It keeps you compliant with the law and saves you from the terror of an IRS audit down the road. When you are choosing an app, do not overlook the quality of its tax reporting tools. A platform that makes this process simple and seamless is a platform that respects you as a long-term investor, not just a short-term trader. It understands that true wealth isn't just about making gains. It's about being able to properly account for them and keep them. So we've fortified our accounts with layers of security, and we've demystified the daunting world of taxes. We've essentially built the secure foundation and legal framework for our crypto house. We understand the engine of buying and selling, the dashboard of portfolio tracking, and the high-performance features of staking and earning. We've covered almost every major feature you'll encounter. But now comes the final, most important question of all. With all this knowledge, how do you actually choose which app is the right one for you? It's the paradox of choice. You're presented with a dozen amazing options, each with a slightly different flavor, and instead of feeling empowered, you feel paralyzed. You're afraid of making the wrong choice. But here's the secret. In the world of crypto apps, there is no single right choice. There is only the right choice for you right now, and the person you are today might need a different app than the person you'll be in a year. So let's throw out the idea of finding the one perfect app to rule them all. Instead, let's figure out who you are as a crypto user. I find it helps to think in terms of 4 main profiles. See which one of these sounds most like you. First, we have the investor. This is the classic hodler. Your strategy is simple, elegant, and time-tested. You want to buy major, established cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you plan to hold them for years, maybe even decades. You believe in the long-term potential of the technology, and you're not interested in the daily price swings. You're not a trader. You're an accumulator. If this is you, your priorities are crystal clear: security, simplicity, and low fees for buying. You need an app from a company that feels like a fortress. You should look for platforms that are heavily regulated, publicly traded if possible, and have a long history of protecting customer assets. You want to know they have massive insurance policies and that the majority of their crypto is held in offline cold storage. For you, a flashy interface with a million charts is just noise. You need a big, obvious buy button, a clear portfolio view, and that's about it. You might also be interested in simple, safe ways to earn a yield on your holdings. So straightforward staking options for assets like Ethereum or Cardano are a huge plus. The key here is trust and a long-term track record. Next, we have the trader. You're the polar opposite of the investor. You're fascinated by the market's pulse. You see opportunity and volatility, and you want to be more active, making multiple buys and sells to capitalize on short to medium-term price movements. If this is you, your entire focus shifts. While security is always important, Your primary concerns are fees, speed, and tools. You need an app with a competitive fee structure, specifically a low maker-taker fee model that rewards you for providing liquidity to the market. A simple buy-sell interface isn't enough. You need advanced charting tools with indicators like moving averages and RSI built right in. You need to see the live order book to gauge market depth. You need access to a wide variety of trading pairs, not just Bitcoin to dollar, but maybe Solana to Ethereum or Chainlink to Bitcoin. The speed of order execution is critical. A few seconds of lag can be the difference between profit and loss. For you, an app that has an advanced or pro version is essential. The interface will be more complex, more intimidating, but it's a cockpit, and you're ready to learn how to fly it. Our third profile is the Explorer. You're not just here for the money. You're here for the revolution. You're captivated by the technology itself, by DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, and the entire expanding universe of Web3. You hear about a new Layer 1 protocol or a new decentralized lending platform, and your first thought is, how can I try that? If this is you, a standard centralized exchange is just your starting point. It's your on-ramp, the place you turn your dollars into crypto. But your real playground is on-chain. Your most important feature is a powerful, integrated Web3 wallet. You need an app that is not just the place to hold your crypto, but a gateway to the decentralized internet. You need a built-in dApp browser that lets you connect to platforms like Uniswap or Aave directly. You need control over your private keys, because you understand that not your keys, not your crypto is the first commandment of a true explorer. You'll also prioritize an app that supports multiple blockchains, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Avalanche, because you want to go wherever the innovation is happening. For you, the learning curve is part of the fun. You're willing to accept more personal responsibility for your security in exchange for total freedom and access to the cutting edge. Finally, we have the everyday user. Your goal is to bridge the gap between the digital world of crypto and your real everyday life. You're less concerned with investment theories or trading charts and more interested in utility. You're asking, this is cool, but what can I do with it? If this is you, you're looking for a completely different set of features. The number one thing on your list is probably a crypto debit card. You love the idea of spending your dollars but earning your rewards back in Bitcoin or another crypto asset. You want an app that makes this process seamless. You're also looking for an incredibly simple, intuitive user interface that feels more like Venmo or Apple Pay than a stock brokerage. You want to be able to send crypto to a friend as easily as you'd send them a text message. Low fees on payments and transfers are important. You might also be drawn to earn programs that give you a yield on stablecoins, seeing it as a sort of high-yield savings account. For you, the app that wins is the one that best hides the complexity and just makes crypto a useful, integrated part of your financial life. Now, look at those four profiles: the investor, the trader, the explorer, and the everyday user. You probably felt a stronger connection to one or two of them. That's your starting point. But I want to share one final, crucial piece of advice. Choosing your first crypto app is not a marriage. It's more like a first date. You don't have to commit for life. In fact, almost nobody who's serious about crypto uses just one app. They use several, each for what it does best. They might use Coinbase as their trusted bank to on-ramp money and hold their long-term Bitcoin. Use Kraken Pro for its low-fee trading environment, and use MetaMask as their portal to explore DeFi. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need to find one app that does everything perfectly. You won't. The goal is to build a toolkit. So, how do you take your first step without getting overwhelmed? Follow this simple 3-step plan. Step 1. Define your primary goal. Right now, today, looking at the 4 profiles, which one are you starting as? You can always change later, but pick one for now. Are you a long-term investor? An active trader? A curious explorer? An everyday user? Be honest with yourself. This will narrow your search from dozens of apps down to just 2 or 3. Step 2. Pick one app and create an account. Based on your profile, just pick the one that seems to fit best. Don't spend another week reading reviews. The friction of endless research is the enemy of progress. The only way to truly understand an app is to use it. The setup process itself, including the identity verification, is a great test of the company's user experience. Step 3. This is the most important step of all. It's called the $100 test. Do not transfer your life savings. Instead, start with a small amount of money that you would be perfectly okay with losing. For most people, $100 is a good number. This isn't an investment. It's the price of your education. Use that $100 to kick the tires. Buy $50 of Bitcoin. Buy $20 of Ethereum. Experience the feeling of seeing the transaction go through. See how the app displays your portfolio. Try setting a price alert. If the app has a pro version, switch it on and see how it feels. If it has a Web3 wallet, try sending $10 to it. This hands-on, low-stakes experience will teach you more in 1 hour than you could learn in 10 hours of watching videos. You'll discover what you love and what you hate about the interface, and you'll do it without any real financial risk. Over the course of this series, we've journeyed from the absolute basics of what an exchange is to the complexities of decentralized finance and staking. We've demystified wallets, security, fees, and the vast ecosystem of features you're about to encounter. You've built a foundation of knowledge that genuinely puts you ahead of the vast majority of people. You are no longer a beginner just looking at a confusing new technology. You are now an informed individual, equipped with a framework to make smart, personal decisions about how you want to engage with this space. This isn't the end of your education. It's the beginning of your experience. The crypto world changes at lightning speed, but the principles we've discussed, security, self-custody, understanding your goals, they are timeless. Your real journey starts now. Stay curious, start small, and never stop learning. The best time to build your understanding of this financial revolution was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. Welcome to the frontier.